and we're going to let people in.
Hi everybody, my name is Geraldine Montgomery from Leeds Arts Health and Wellbeing Network. Welcome to our webinar today. Thank you so much for joining us. When we imagined having this webinar, it was in January when myself, Amy and Rachel from 100% Digital Leeds, who are co-hosting today, we're running a series of webinars about creativity and wellbeing in Leeds. And with everything feeling like it was closed, we wondered what was happening across the city that allowed people to engage online in creative ways. And my interest in that from our Arts and Health Network was just to know what was happening. And Rachel and Amy really felt like creativity, arts and culture was a way to demystify some of the aspects of digital inclusion and technology across Leeds, particularly people who haven't had much experience of working with laptops, tablets, Alexas, mobile phones, what have you. And when we'd run those webinars, we were looking towards the rest of the year and what might be happening in Leeds as Leeds reopened, but also what might be happening in places where people were maybe more vulnerable and not able to go back to galleries and museums and arts organisations. So we planned this webinar thinking specifically about Age of Creativity Month, which is a celebration by Age UK across the city, looking at National Creativity and Wellbeing Week, which is happening this week, looking at how arts can benefit our wellbeing, and also Dementia Action Week, which is looking at the changes that we can make in our care and social care systems to help people age better. So without talking too much about our Arts and Health Network, I'm sure we can do that another day. I'd like to introduce Rachel and Amy. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Amy.
That's great. Thanks, Geraldine. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. I'm a Digital Inclusion Coordinator on the 100% Digital Leeds programme in Leeds. I'm just going to share screen. I'm going to talk through a little bit around our programme in Leeds. Delighted to join the webinar today. And as Geraldine said, we've been talking a lot over the last few months around how creative digital inclusion is so important, and through the pandemic as well, really raising the awareness of the opportunities to increase digital inclusion in Leeds. We're quite a small team based in Leeds City Council. Our main role is working right across the city with any organisation or service to support them to better enable their service users, beneficiaries to have positive outcomes through digital. We work to make Leeds the most digitally inclusive city for everyone, and working to be the best age-friendly city as well for people to grow old in. We want people to understand how digital can benefit them, how they can develop their skills and get connected. Now in Leeds, we've got 90,000 people that are offline, a high proportion of people with really, really deep-rooted barriers, reasons why they can't access digital and services online. And as we know, through the last 12 months, a really challenging time, these barriers have really had a massive impact on a lot of people who have been unable to contact friends and family, maybe not able to access services that have adapted to online. So as we come out, obviously the roadmap is slightly changed. It's quite a positive week this week, as things are opening up, social distancing, and lots of kind of hope for the future. It's about really kind of ensuring digital inclusion is still at the forefront, and we want people to have equal opportunities. So it's not about forcing digital upon everybody and anyone, wherever they are, wherever they live, and whoever they are. It's just about people having a choice. If it's easier for them and more accessible to be able to engage with services without leaving their front door, being able to see people, have support for their mental well-being, or their overall quality of life, we want them to be able to have that choice. So that's kind of our main role, working with organisations and services, and for the most part working with care homes as well throughout the pandemic and going forward. We want people to be able to choose, to have a choice to what they want to do online, and make an informed choice as well. So for the most part, if people don't want to do something online, that's absolutely fine, but have the opportunity to be able to do it, to have the connectivity, have the skills, have the motivation, and have the confidence. So through that, what we do with supporting organisations and services is really having a conversation really around how yourselves, care homes, organisations can really embed digital inclusion into your existing service. It's not always about doing more, it's just enhancing what you already do. Enhancing those conversations that you already have with people. So whatever service or activity it is that you're working with people, there will be an opportunity to have a conversation with someone potentially around the positive benefits that being online could bring for them, playing an active role in motivating them, letting them see the benefits, but also being made aware of what those kind of key barriers are that's stopping them from being able to engage, that doesn't give them an equal opportunity as the same as everybody else. So really working to find out kind of what those needs are and what those barriers are, and putting plans in place and resources in place to be able to support them. We offer digital champion training. So that's our champion training program. That's a 1.5 hour session for free that we deliver virtually with organisations and services, care homes, so we can deliver that with your teams. And that's really about kind of enabling staff, wide staff teams and volunteers to have the skills and awareness of digital inclusion, the barriers that people might face, but also where support might be available as well, either in the city or outside of the city. We work with partner organisations that provide digital skills training, support for people maybe with specific needs as well, thinking about those other underlying barriers that come into play. So if somebody has a language barrier or they have specific needs, they're living with learning disability or a sensory or physical impairment, having that different approach and making it very person-centred. So there's not one size fits all with anything, but there definitely isn't with digital inclusion. So it's really about knowing the best approach and the most accessible way for someone to engage with digital. And we support that organisation through that training and linking in with partner organisations to achieve those positive outcomes. It's really about kind of improving signposting, so knowing what's available, where that support is in the city, to really support your services and organisations, but also thinking about, connectivity, for example, thinking about how we can support you to apply for funding potentially, to get equipment and resources, to increase that capacity and the tools that you've got to be able to engage with digital with your service users. So that might be something we can really support with, and we've done a lot of work over the last year working with organisations to really build on that infrastructure and that community capacity. And as well as that, it's about really sharing best practice. So as we kind of lead digital inclusion across the city, we do a lot of coordination, and we're really excited about kind of more opportunities to do that as well. So it's about kind of not working in silos, but bringing organisations, bringing your services together to connect, share best practice, overcome challenges together, co-produce solutions, to really put people at the heart of digital inclusion and really work together to see those positive outcomes. We've done that through a variety of networks that we've developed. So we've recently developed, in partnership with Leeds Older People's Forum, a network for organisations or services supporting older people. So that might be something you would like to join and be part of. You can get in touch after the webinar to find out a little bit more on our website. Also, a network for organisations supporting people with autism and learning disabilities, and most recently a network for organisations and services supporting people with sensory impairments. So we're really looking for kind of bring organisations and services together and connect. And I think that's really topical kind of with this webinar as well, and thinking about, you know, specifically care homes and the opportunities to be able to increase more creative digital, more opportunities to celebrate arts and culture through digital can be done by connecting and partnering with other organisations in the city who might be providing something that could be tapped into and shared either virtually or remotely and digitally. So I think that's really, really topical of this webinar. I'm really excited for more opportunities to connect organisations together. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about kind of how we've supported digital inclusion in care homes and what we can do to support going forward to really increase those opportunities for people to be more motivated to access digital while they might be in a care home, or potentially be able to still connect with their organisations like Neighbourhood Networks while they're there. But also building that staff confidence. That's kind of a key thing. So us supporting teams to really enable staff to be proactive and motivated and really confident to engage with digital within existing programmes and activities, to really support with that embedding of digital inclusion into the existing service. Really kind of taking a blended approach. So it's not about just channeling everything digital, but really using that, you know, the digital inclusion and the digital element as a way to motivate people for that kind of brain stimulation, those lovely kind of activities, and engage with lots of a range of services that are offering amazing activities for arts and culture across Leeds, just to enhance that activity offer, not necessarily to replace it, but just taking that real blended approach that it's really great to have both. And people have got a choice. If they would like to do a jigsaw, doing a jigsaw on a table, or doing a jigsaw on a jigsaw app, just having that choice of whatever they would like to do in the best way for them. Increasing digital tools and resources. So we've lent equipment to care homes over the last 12 months, which obviously benefited massively. Lots of organisations have been able to connect with friends and family as well through this hard time, but also be able to engage with some of those services, theatre productions, bingo sessions, all variety of virtual sessions that have been available. So really supporting with that kind of building of the infrastructure. Do you need funding? If you need funding, looking for funding opportunities and us supporting you to get connectivity and resources within your service or organisation. And really enhancing that service offer as well, because really at the heart of it is people improving their mental health, their well-being, you know, combating social isolation through digital inclusion. You know, key health benefits of being online are massive, and we know the people that would benefit most tend to be sometimes the people that are not engaging and are more likely to be digitally excluded. So we really want to, you know, increase those opportunities for people so they've got an opportunity to increase their health and well-being. One of our main approaches that we really encourage to take is kind of pairing the familiar with the unfamiliar. We've found, you know, with that motivation of using some, you know, creative digital activities as a motivator for people. With regards to digital, if someone's digitally excluded, it's really hard to get away from the fact that some part of that journey or process is going to be unfamiliar. We can't get away from that. It might be the device they're doing something on, they're engaging with. It might be the jargon that's talked about around it, like app or, you know, even the word digital. It might be the website or whatever that element is, or just doing something for the first time is unfamiliar anyway. What we really encourage is for everything that is unfamiliar, really encouraging that familiar aspect. So in incorporating some familiar into the actual process of someone going online. So if somebody's engaging with something virtually, how to explain that in a really comfortable way, avoiding that jargon, maybe linking to things that they already know how to do, like a jigsaw app, or engaging with a radio station app, knowing what radio stations are, so it doesn't feel as daunting or unfamiliar, because actually having some skills and knowing how to do that already, but just doing it in a different way, really supports that approach. And find digital resources that are, really straightforward and really that people are really passionate about and linked to their hobbies and interests. Really find that person-centered approach. So it's not kind of just, we'll just do this one thing, or it's really find out what people are interested in and using that as a hook, using that as the tool to motivate someone to take the first step online and really seeing the benefits. And in the most part, it's not really about the digital, it's about the person. We want people to have more opportunities. We don't want people to be excluded from anything. We want that really inclusive approach. And in the most part, just really having an accessible way to engage with things as well. And I think we found that in the last year, just chatting to organisations that, have care homes and services that have been able to kind of, engage with concerts, see theatre productions and things, and potentially that might not have been even an option. To be able to get on a bus and go there might be quite challenging, but to be able to do that virtually is just incredible. We want people to really want to go online and have that experience, and really positive outcomes. Just a couple of the devices and technology that we've used in a creative way and really kind of seen real amazing benefits for people, especially with their mental health and well-being. Lending voice technology devices, Alexas, to care homes and organisations has seen people be able to do lots of amazing things. So, obviously using them for music, but also self-management. So like logging medication reminders, and speaking to Alexa is a conversation. So people may be living alone or more isolated, being able to connect with Alexa as a friend, being able to have video conversations with friends and family, and really think about those interactive activities. There's loads and loads of Alexa skills on there. We've done a sheet on our website, which we'll share afterwards as well, which has got lots of things they can do. Music quizzes, which have been great, guess the tune from the 60s. Lots of really fun interactive things that have just really enabled people to have a really positive experience. Also trialing virtual reality as well, which has been great as a creative way, again, to have an immersive experience, kind of leave this challenging world that we've had over the last 12 months and be able to go to somewhere else. So that's been absolutely amazing. It might be something you think about kind of trialing. It's been fantastic for reminiscence, going back in time, but also, potentially having a really nice experience through Australia, traveling the world, going to the moon. And that's just been absolutely amazing, really stimulating, really interactive. And these kind of Alexas and VR has been great for people that have got low digital skills, who maybe are taking their first step with engaging with something digital. They don't require, many skills or, any kind of sort of daunting experience. They can just really have a go and have a real positive outcome. I just wanted to finish with a little bit of some quotes here, just impact from some of the work that we've been doing across the city, supporting people in care homes and organisations with digital. And I think they just really kind of hit home at just the impact it's having, that people, it's life-changing. And we really want to continue seeing these amazing impact stories. That's it from me. Like I say, do get in touch if you'd like any more information from how we can support your service or organisation, to have a little conversation and think about that embedding of digital inclusion, what resource might be needed, and how to take the best approach to see those real positive impact outcomes for the people that you're working with through creative digital inclusion. So I'm now going to hand over to Catherine from Leeds Care Delivery Service and Joan. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. So
Catherine.
Hello. My name's Catherine. I work for Care Delivery Services for Leeds City Council, and we've always tried to keep up with digital learning with the council, but in a very ad hoc way. So many years ago, when I started working in extra care, we discovered computers and realized we didn't know how to use them. So we had some sessions together with the tenants, and we ran classes with the residents and the staff working together. And we learned a little bit more. So we've always had in our day services tutors who've taught IT, and people have come along to those classes, and we have some fantastic experiences with people, you know, getting onto Facebook, meeting with other people the other side of the world, that sort of thing. But it wasn't until we started working with, Rachel's talked a lot about the 100% digital offer, the digital champions training, which happened with some of our staff across care delivery, and we really benefited from that. But it wasn't until like a lot of other people, till lockdown last year, that we really realized what it meant to do digital. So we were really fortunate. We got the 100% digital team to loan us some of the Alexas in the care homes, and we got iPads, and people used those to be able to, in the care homes, they used them to be able to contact the GPs and nurses, contact family members, that sort of things. And the Alexas were amazing. People realized that, you know, they could use them. They're so easy, they're so interactive. Joan is here, who lives in one of our care homes, and I think you loved the Alexas, didn't you, Joan?
Yeah.
They're easy to use, aren't they?
Alexas, yes, they are.
What did you do with them?
Played music for them.
Yes, you just say to them, play some music, and then off you go, kind of thing. Yeah.
You just say, Alexa, play, and then you tell them what song to play.
That's right, and it happens, doesn't it? So that was a really nice thing for people in the care homes. And our day services, so we have care homes, day services, transitional housing, extra care schemes, and we work with all those different schemes. But as our day services opened, we had very few people coming back, and we realized that we really needed to sort of support people a bit more with the digital offer and find out what people needed. And so we got in touch with families, and it really was families, because it's not just the care of somebody or the person that supports someone in a care home. It's finding out, you know, maybe it's a granddaughter or a niece or a nephew that can support that person with accessing digital. Of course, people in care homes didn't have that support. So one of the things we quickly realized was that we needed to have a digital offer across our care delivery service. We'd started it in the day opportunities services, but people in the care homes weren't getting that same opportunity. So I'm just going to share my screen now. Okay, and tell you a little bit about our journey. Oops. Sorry. So in January, we launched our digital offer. So we'd already got a planned partnership with ArtLink, and materials were provided, and we had fortnightly Zoom meetings that come about as a response to the isolation that people in the care homes were experiencing. So we thought what we could do is expand that and start to have some more contacts. So that's where we got in touch with various people through the Arts and Health Wellbeing Network, and we thought we would host a weekly online session and call it Wellbeing Wednesday, because of course wellbeing is what people needed after all these long periods of isolation. And it's so many things. It's, you know, it's exercise, it's music, it's relaxation, it's art, it's discussion, sport, information, whatever's available when you haven't been able to access much. So then we realized, of course, we can't do that without getting people online. And this is my first picture of people getting online. And it was quite a challenge because, of course, the support staff in the different services weren't used to working in this way. And so without the support staff being able to do it, then we realized that the older people in the care homes couldn't do it because we couldn't offer them that support. So what we did was we ran practice sessions across our teams, and we started to find people who were interested and who got it. And then we realized that what we really needed was more people who were interested and got it. So this is a photo of some of the first kind of wellbeing activities that we ran online. And you can see we've got a tiny little iPad there, but people were kind of watching it in the distance and starting to use different online activities. So we looked at some of our partners, and what we wanted to do was find the community and wellbeing and arts organisations that we partnered with previously and kind of get together with them again and give people the opportunity to try new things. So then, let me just move along. Some of the activities that we did was, for instance, we had a session with Leeds Industrial Museum, and that was a really good interactive session. We had some dance happening with Yorkshire Dance, and we realized that some of the things that people really interacted well with was the music and the dance. Another thing we did was work alongside some groups that already had been running throughout the whole lockdown period. So some of our peer support workers were working with people who'd previously been out and about with them, people who were living with dementia and were not used to going out in the community, and they'd immediately started running some Zoom sessions. So we practiced with people in the day services in the care homes, and here's one of our peer support workers saying hello to people. And we realized that even if we didn't know each other, it was such an opportunity to kind of get together and just practice using technology, have a nice chat, have some fun, and say hello. These gentlemen are at one of the recovery hubs. We shared the Wellbeing Wednesday with all our services, and these gentlemen said after they'd had this interactive session with the museums, that when they went home, when they'd gone through their recovery period with the hub, they would be going to the museum. It was something to look forward to. And here's Joan. Now, Joan had told me years ago she'd wanted to be in a film. And so while I was working in the care home that Joan lives in, she was talking to me about the kind of things that, you know, she would like to do. And one of those things was to do some acting. And so after some conversations with Geraldine, who's on the webinar, I had a look around and I found that there was a brand new playhouse a scheme that was just launching, Reasons to be Hopeful, that was going to bring together some young people and some older people. So I spoke to Joan about it, and maybe we should bring Joan in now. Can you remember what we did, Joan, and how you got onto this webinar, onto this program with the Playhouse?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about it. Do you remember when we sat together and we went on to the first Zoom meeting, didn't we?
We did, yes, we did.
What was that like? How many people were there?
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. And what was it? Go on, tell us a little bit about it. So the first Zoom meeting, there were about 80 people there, weren't there? And you?
Yeah.
What was going to happen?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened now. I've got a flag up on the front of the playhouse.
You've got a flag on the front of the playhouse. How did that come about?
Well, I don't know, but
So
anyway,
can you tell us a little bit about the group that you joined then, what it was like?
well, it was all a drama group.
Yeah. And how many of you were there?
There were about 10 of us, I think. Yeah, 10.
Yeah. So were they people that you knew before?
No, I didn't know any of them.
How was that? How did you get on with those people then?
All right. First time we went to get to know each other's names.
Yeah.
Then after that, we got on right well with each other, and yeah, yeah, it was nice. I right enjoyed it. Everybody did.
And so have you stayed in touch with any of those people? Because that program's come to an end. So what was the end of it? What happened towards the end of that?
Well, it's finished now, but they said to me, but you can continue with it, with the playhouse.
And so what will you do? What's going to happen next?
You can continue with drama, or you can do drama and dance.
Okay, and will that be online or will that be in person then?
It could be in person, I think. I hope.
Right, so you're going to get the opportunity to go to the playhouse, do you think?
That's right, yeah. I'm waiting for them sending for me now. They're coming for me, because they said that when I saw the flag up, they said that we will fetch you to see it and take you through Playhouse and show you everything that's there.
Right, lovely. Have you felt like a film star?
I have. Yeah, I have.
Here you have lots of fans around you all the time.
Yeah, I've right enjoyed it. And they said, Joan, look, she's a film star. And then they said today, now they've seen me flag up, they say, we'll bring us autograph books tomorrow.
Lovely. So thanks, Joan. That was lovely listening to your experience. So we have been using the digital offer to kind of share our more opportunities for people where people had felt very isolated in their homes. And one of the ways we've done that is you've got a lovely picture there of our community engagement worker and some of the students that have been supporting this digital offer. And that's been a way of getting people involved, has been to have some students alongside us who are very good at the whole digital thing, where some of us who haven't been used to it were less good, and they've been able to really kind of engage with the residents and the staff teams and help them to make those opportunities available. So we launched a few other opportunities. We did this for, within our services, and these are two ladies who live in two different care homes on the same Zoom meeting. They'd expressed an interest in knitting. They said they wanted to start up a knit and natter group, and traditionally, probably once upon a time, we'd have had a little group in a care home and people would have done their craft activity there. Now we've got this opportunity to be able to link people together. These two ladies didn't know each other at all, and they've got together, and they, by the end of half an hour together, they'd shared lots of skills, they'd talked about all sorts of things, and they wanted to meet up again. And now they've got a few other people joining them, and we're hoping to share that out, maybe with some of the neighbourhood networks, look at expanding that opportunity a lot more. And one of the things that we've done as well is to have some fantastic online events and bring in people from all our services. And so this is as part of the Lord Mayor's charity event to raise money for the Lord Mayor's charity last week. And we've got some of the people who live in the transitional housing units and who attend some of our day services, who performed a concert. and you can probably see somewhere along the top, there's all sorts of people from the care homes. It's just giving people more opportunities to see what's out there, to see each other, and to be able to sort of feel inspired and go off and do new things. So we're planning some other really creative opportunities. This is a Yorkshire dance class that happens every week now across the care homes and some of the other services, and people are really embracing it. They're dressing up, they've got a theme, they're dancing together, they're seeing each other in their homes. One of the managers said to me yesterday from one of the homes that she's really, she feels like it's opened things up. It's not just the same boring staff seeing people all the time, they're seeing each other. And this is Joan just celebrating. She's had a marvelous picture opportunity with the Playhouse, and her photo's going to be up and around, and she's going to have a moment of fame. But we think there's a lot of hard work still to do, but that having that digital offer, Joan isn't the only person. We have lots of people in the care homes that are really being able to do the things that they want to do, and it's really hugely life enhancing. So that's my little bit. Thank you. And I'm going to introduce now Iria from Springfield Care Homes. Iria, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you for having me here. So my name is Iria, and I'm the Wellbeing Development Manager for the care homes at Springfield. And I'm going to show you a few examples of how we have used technology in the last year in a creative way. I'm just going to share my screen. And hopefully my computer will be fast to work. Okay. So I'm just going to show you a bit of Springfield Healthcare. We have now 5 care homes, 1 in York, 1 in Ilkley, and 3 in Leeds, and with 2 more to open this year and the next year in Harrogate and Beverly. And the examples I'm giving are more for the Leeds areas, for our 3 homes that I have here on top of the images. So in the last year, it has been very difficult. And as soon as visits were cut, so that was a major thing. So we had so many connections with the families and with the community. So how could we support residents to reduce the loneliness and to still maintain the connection? So we've used technology to promote their well-being by connecting with their families and friends, connecting with the community, also as a way to learn new things and maintain still their hobbies and skills, to keep themselves active, and especially to have fun. So some of the examples I have here, in terms of staying connected with families and friends, first thing the company did was to give to each care home, to each community in the care home, a mobile or a tablet, so that video calls could be done at any time or whenever a resident requested, and then they could have that connection with the family. So things started being normal to do those video calls. And then when Christmas came, we just thought we have to do a bit more special than just doing the video call. So we just decided to prepare a scenario, like you can see in the image, that has my photo. I didn't want to put a resident photo. And so we built a scenario, we booked Zoom calls where people could actually then have some mince pies with sherry or tea, depending on the hour. And then a proper Zoom call where families actually invited other family members and spent a good half an hour talking just before Christmas. And it was so amazing. Everyone was taking photos, relatives were taking photos. Some people thought that there was really a fireplace behind the chair. And because of this, we continued to actually prepare a few more different scenarios, different video calls. We've also used technology to allow being connected with the community, not only with local community, but also between our care homes. For example, in the first image, we did a virtual quiz competition between our care homes. Also using for virtual concerts. In this case, I have an example of Opera North, or also to go to virtual tours to different museums or zoos. So many things are available on internet that people could just use. And also technology to learn new things and maintaining hobbies. Basically, I think it's so normal for us now to use the devices we have. So any activity we can use and have the technology next to give be a supplement and be helpful. So here we have an example in crafts, they're making pompons, but still you can still show either a YouTube video or some instructions with technology. We have here an interactive table that is used for games, crafts, chess, reminiscence sessions. And I'm always putting here learning new things or maintaining their hobbies, but it's interesting that actually residents learn how to use this technology. But it's so easy to use that instantly I think people just touch the screen and it makes it easier for them to use and interact. Also sensory apps, they have many available. We've used for garden, coloring by numbers or just any coloring app. It's used. Word search, puzzles are one of the main things used with residents. Alexa with music is also very popular. So simple, Alexa play, whichever, and she will play. We have also using to keep active. We've done also virtual fitness sessions between our homes. So everyone was doing that same session at the same time. It was really lots of fun and residents really loved it. And also Alexa, that is very used for, has lots of use for music, but I think Alexa is very used for conversation. Because Alexa, she's very clever and she has lots of sense of humor. Anything we say, Alexa always will have an answer. And we are still trying the Alexas, but for now, the results, we have many residents requesting an Alexa because they just love the Alexa. She's very funny. She always has an answer and she knows it all. So in terms of resources, we have a bit of everything. Is it mobiles, tablets, iPads, interactive table, Alexas, and then it's about using and trying different apps. I think the main thing is promoting communication with families and friends, some games and music. It's very important, music. Just anything that someone remembers. I would love to hear this, we can just find and put music. So it has been really useful for the residents, I think. Another thing with the digital, we have done the digital champions training with 100% digital Leeds. And it has been really helpful because it offers a lot of support and it has built our confidence in using the technology. And they're always so helpful. And if you have any questions, Rachel will always answer immediately. And we are using actually the Alexas from the lending scheme, which it's good because then we can try and see if it works. And if it works, then it will be worth buying it or acquiring a few more. So as a result of the last year of using so much technology, I think we have helped connect residents with the others, reducing the isolation and maintaining their skills. It gave opportunity to learn new things, improving the well-being overall, and having lots of fun. I think all residents smile when they see like the interactive table coming or looking at a tablet. But it has also allowed to maintain good communication between our different activity teams in different homes, because easily we can do a virtual Zoom meeting and then just share good practice, good ideas, things that have worked or things that someone requested. We have a resident that would like to connect with another resident that have the same interests. So it allowed us that. And also it was very important. We think about digital inclusion of residents, but also of staff, because not everyone is very technological. So actually 100% digital Leeds was also good to train staff, especially because we have some residents that actually they have their own iPad or their own mobile. And to offer support, we also need to know how to work with those devices. So I think all this learning or digital inclusion is for residents and staff. And over the past year, I think technology with all their different forms, it has become normal. It's so normal to see a tablet, some technology. No one even questions, do you have Wi-Fi? Obviously we have Wi-Fi, it's so normal. We need it for anything that we do with our technology devices. So thank you. I hope I've been helpful in giving some ideas. And I'll hand over now to Lily Craig, our freelance arts facilitator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aria, and thank you for having me here today. I think there's already been so many amazing examples of incredible pieces of work that's happening in care homes and just across the city. So I think it's a really amazing place to be, and I feel very lucky to be in this city doing all this amazing work. So just today, I thought I'd talk a little bit about, so I'm a freelance kind of arts facilitator, although I find it really hard to introduce myself because I do lots of random different things, and coming up with a title that covers all of that is quite complicated. But I work for lots of different arts organisations, and I know a couple of people are here already in the Zoom, so hello to you guys. I work kind of freelance at Leeds Playhouse, at Yorkshire Dance, Leeds Older People's Forum, the Performance Ensemble, and then I also run an immersive bass arts company called Fragments. And I'll talk a little bit about Fragments to start off with. So Fragments is it's an arts-based company that's about bringing high quality arts to people living in care homes. So we have a particular focus on making arts accessible, making it person-centered, and making it be what it needs to be for the people that are receiving it. So last January, before this whole world started, we did our first kind of pilot installation in Oak Tree Lodge care home, where we built a 360 immersive garden that was co-designed and co-created by the residents living in Oak Tree Lodge. The garden had real plants, real grass, a soundscape, it had smells, and then it had a full kind of creative program of activity that was kind of from storytellers to cello players to dancers, a mixture of everything. And obviously, since the world has changed from then, obviously that work has become really difficult to deliver. And actually what we've realized is that you can build amazing immersive worlds through digital means as well, and that it doesn't just have to be something entirely physical, and that actually there's benefit in both of those elements happening, so the live and the digital version of those elements. And so the work kind of following that, since that installation, and I guess all the work that I've been doing with other organisations, has been about exploring how we recreate what it feels like to be together in a space, and how we can do that digitally and online. And so part of the work that Fragments is doing at the moment is about building a digital performance that can be experienced by care home residents, but also by family members. So there can be a shared performance experience, a shared creative experience that can be shared together or separately, and then you can have a conversation about it. And it's a means to do something together while we can't physically be together. And at the moment, that project is very much in its development stages, but we are looking for people to partner with, so care homes and lots of different creative individuals. So my email is going to be sent out with everyone else's emails. So if you are interested, please do get in touch, because it would be great to work with you, and it would be great to design an experience that feels like it's got the residents at the heart of that. Just to say that performance or that experience will be about sort of sharing and highlighting hidden heroes across Leeds, and we'd love care home residents to share their stories and be part of that performance too, but it will be delivered entirely digitally. So very exciting. So that's sort of one element that I was going to talk to you about today, but I also wanted to share a couple of examples of digital working that I've been doing across the last year. So as part of my my work with Leeds Playhouse, when some of the team were on furlough during the kind of the initial phases of lockdown 1, because I'm a freelancer and it's easy to bring people in and just sort of help support projects, I helped support set up the Heydays online delivery program, which was about working with people who live independently, but using people who've never used Zoom before, but using digital to deliver creative sessions. Now that was a challenge to start with because lots of people didn't have access to the internet, or Zoom was a whole new thing back then, and I was still figuring out how it worked. But I think there's lots of benefits to being able to deliver creative activity online, and I think the biggest piece of learning from delivering that at the very start of this whole new world that we're living in was about having a mixture of something that felt live and then something that was tangible and something that you could touch and feel. And I think that the variety of having something in front of you that you can talk to, you can share with, you can watch, you can engage with in whatever means feels right for you. But then also that's something that places you back into your own space. So if it's a craft class, that you have access to that, but then you're sharing that experience with somebody else. And I think that benefit of that, and using breakout rooms, which are obviously these smaller, kind of more person-centered one-to-one interactions, enabled us to actually get closer to people than we would have ever done before. And we got to know people on a level that maybe when there was a class of 20, we might not have done that before. So it really enabled us to connect with people across the city in their own homes at a time that felt right for them, and that we were being as accessible and person-centered as possible. And I know that in terms of kind of creative, the world of the creative arts, digital, and especially in my work, digital is something that we've always wanted to work with, but actually the power of being the human connection and the power of being together always trumped that. And obviously the last year we've not been able to do that. So digital has offered a really beautiful way of being able to be together without physically being together. And I think there's some amazing other examples that I can share with you. I think one other project that's happening at the moment that would be really great to work with care homes on as well is a project called 5,000 Flowers, which is a collaboration between Leeds 2023, Leeds Playhouse, Leeds Older People's Forum, and there is someone else, and I'm going to get in trouble if I don't say them, but I will remember it. There's a performance going on at Leeds Playhouse called The Promise of a Garden, which is about, I guess, growing, researching, and talking about what it's been like for the past year, and that we started with an empty stage and that it ends with a beautiful big garden. As part of that performance, I'm working on some community outreach, and we'd love to work with care homes where we're asking people to make 5,000 flowers that can go on stage. They can be made out of a variety of different materials, but the kind of the aim of the project is to get as many older people making flowers in the city that then we can share on the stage. And then we're also doing a screening of that. So if people living in care homes have made the flowers and they'd love to see their flower on stage, there's an online sharing of that, so we can maybe help organise some of those sharings in care homes, and we can set up a theatre with popcorn or ice cream or whatever feels right at that time. And we're also setting up online workshops for that. So we can provide the resources, but we can also provide online sessions to help some residents come along to that, and we can support you guys in getting you online and helping you set up those workshops in your care homes. So yeah, I'll put some details in the chat once I finish talking, but yeah, there's lots of opportunity to engage with that. And then just quickly, I'm aware of time, so I don't want to take up too much time away from Katie, but I know there's lots of practicalities to getting people online and lots of I guess worries and concerns, but I think it's a slow start, and with the right support, it really can be an amazing experience. There's so many live theatre sharings on YouTube, on lots of different platforms where we can bring this high quality creative art into spaces that was never there before, or even was never even possible. And so I think it's about thinking big and aiming high to bring those creative opportunities into the care homes in the best way that we can. And just quickly, so as part of my work with Leeds Older People's Forum, I'm building these, I'm calling them immersive boxes because I can't think of anything else to call them, but they sort of represent what it might feel like to be together in a creative moment, so in an activity. And part of these boxes is about experimenting whether we can recreate what it feels like to be in a group at a distance. And so we're very much on that journey at the moment to see if that works. And those boxes have been built bespoke, and we've learned about each person that's receiving them, and then we've built these boxes to understand what it might feel like to not be together. And then the hope is with those boxes that leads us towards digital engagement. So the boxes are a starting point. And I think the blended approach that Rachel was talking about is really strong, and that if people can feel and see something and be a part of something, that when you start to do something digitally, there's something to go back to, there's something to feel, and a memory that you can feel that you've experienced already, and something that you can touch. And I think that's really, really important. So I'll leave it there because I could talk forever about this stuff, but I think what everyone's doing is amazing, and I know there's loads of other amazing artists out there in the city doing incredible work too. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. But I'm going to pass on to Katy Pearce from Leeds International Concert Season.
Thank you, Lily. Hello, I'm Katy Pearce. I work for Leeds International Concert Season. We programme around 20 classical music concerts a year, in normal times, of course. I'm here to talk to you today about our lunchtime concerts. We have 2 series of lunchtime concerts. Monday lunchtimes at Leeds Town Hall, which feature the magnificent organ of Leeds Town Hall, and on Wednesdays at Leeds College of Music, which is a wider chamber music season, so solo piano recitals, string quartets, folk music, all sorts. It's a really wide variety of music. And the audience is really wide. It's a lovely community feel to the audience. We have a lot of older people, people on their lunch breaks in town. We've had babies. We've seen babies from when they're asleep, really tiny babies, and then they grow up and they come back in half terms with their grandparents. It's a really lovely atmosphere. And we get to know the audience really well, and they get to know us as well. And we've had people say that, you know, sometimes we're the only people that they might speak to in that whole week. So they're really important for keeping people connected and preventing isolation and things. But of course, we do eventually lose audience members, especially perhaps as they get older and less able to travel. And it's a real shame when people are no longer able to attend those concerts. They're a huge part of people's lives. For example, we had one gentleman, he came to all our lunchtime concerts, so that's nearly 60 concerts a year, and he went to concerts elsewhere. And then one week he just disappeared. We didn't see him for ages. And one of our other audience members eventually tracked him down, and he'd had to move into a care home for whatever reason. So we lost touch with him. And obviously he lost touch with the music and with that interaction that he had on a weekly basis, which brings us to streaming and how that can help. Lockdown really spurred us on to get sorted with the streaming, because obviously we desperately missed concerts, and I'm sure many other people did as well. So in January, we started audio streaming of our concerts from the town hall, and we've had a fantastic response from our audiences, just feeling that they were connected again, enjoying the music, of course, but also knowing that they were taking part in a shared experience with other people, even if they weren't in the same room. You know, you can sense those other people out there. And now, thanks to Arts Council CRF funding, we've been able to invest in camera equipment so we can present visual streams as well, which is, I think, is really important to be able to see those performers there rather than just getting this music through the ether. So we're now ready to start gathering more people and organisations to get involved with those streams. And we'd really like to involve care homes as well as people in their own homes, just to get people involved with regular concerts again, even if they can't get there in person. So we have 7 concerts coming up in the next couple of months, which are part of our reopening of the town hall after lockdown. So we will have a socially distanced audience in the town hall for those, but we want to continue the streaming because, you know, there will still be some people that can't get there in person. So it's really important to us that we continue those streams. So please do get in touch if you'd like more information on those. We'll share contact details at the end, and we'll try and get in touch with care homes as well to give you more information about those. And obviously we're focused on digital today, but just to say to any care homes that are listening, if you would like to make in-person trips to the concert once life is more back to normal, they would very much like to welcome you. And again, please get in touch. So I really look forward to being able to connect with people in the future, online and in person. But for now, I'm very conscious of time, so I'll hand back to Amy from 100% Digital. Oh no, I'll hand back to Geraldine, sorry, to wrap up. Thank you.
Hi, thanks so much, Katie, and thanks to all our speakers today. I hope there's been lots of food for thought for everybody who's attended. We're going to be sending out some more information about all the topics we've discussed and contact details for every one of the speakers following this event. But anybody who wants to get in touch about anything they're wanting to know, we've had some great questions in the Q&A around training and about the relationships that have been cultivated through creativity and digital engagement in care homes and care settings. But we would just love to keep having the questions come in, because the questions are how we all learn. So yeah, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And if you're able to come by our Creative Aging Forum next month, we're bringing together lots of people interested in how we promote creativity, including digital options, to benefit the health of everybody growing older in Leeds, because none of us are getting any younger. So thank you again and take care.